Hey, Ames, how you doing? How's it going? Hey, Mary, how you doing? Hey, Pat, Teresa, how's your temperature out there today, Mary? Oh, congratulations! Boy, that's hard to do. Good for you. That's a big jump there. Good. Hey, LA, how you doing? Should be getting your magnet in the next couple days. You know, the mail. I don't know if you know this or not, but since Amazon gets busier every year, COVID, all this stuff. They get more mail now during this time of the year than they do at Christmas. Sometime more. It's busy as hell all year long now. Hey, Kim. Oh, good for you, Mary. Hey, Brian. I still get a bunch of videos to upload. Hey, Air Cold. Yeah, it's hard quitting things like that. Get a grasp on drugs, sex, booze, cigarettes, all sorts of shit. That's the argument against human evolution because, in theory, humans are supposed to evolve away from things that harm them, and they don't. Yeah, I know it. I think Amazon sucks. I don't get anything from them anymore. I really bought into that for years. It was nice to go on there and read the reviews and kind of get a good idea of the experience people had with what you were thinking about buying. Then I realized what a bunch of cheap junk they were selling. You never want to buy food from them. Coffee beans, stuff like that. You're buying coffee beans. Let's say like Hawaiian coffee. It's $200 a pound, some of it. It's really good, like blue coffee, let's say. So you buy a pound for yourself, treat yourself. And then next time you order it, you're thinking, somebody else has got the same thing for like $60 a pound. Yeah, it's not the same thing. I found out later that a lot of these coffee bean sellers on Amazon's, those are the beans they found on the ground. Those aren't the kinds that they pick. But what put the cherry on the top with me with Amazon is I've been approached 3 times to write reviews for them. Bullshit lying reviews. I got $5 and it went up to $10 for a review, and I got to keep the item. And I thought right then, screw you. And then Amazon panicked and they realized that they were going to get a lot of bad publicity, so they went to the verified purchase, and now that's just as big of a scam. You want to know what you're getting on Amazon? Look at the bad reviews. You'll get a better idea what you're in for. I don't buy anything from them anymore. Yeah, yep, sure do. No, it's all a bunch of junk. And their customer service sucks now too. Now I'm not saying I may once in a while. It's really weird. Let me give you an example. Like B Camera, they're out of New York. Uh, they're sharp guys. I mean, they know what the hell they're doing. You're not getting any deals from them, but I bought stuff for them before just because of their tutorials and their reviews on equipment. Really, it's probably cost me 15% more, but you guys know everything in life isn't a deal. If you keep buying everything on Amazon, books, Barnes& Noble's going to go out of business. And I've realized this the hard way. I don't buy all my books from Barnes& Noble, but I do go in there and buy books and magazines because I want them to be around, you know? So, you just, it's funny how that business has gotten so successful being a bunch of bullshit. But back to B&H, so once in a while I'll get something from them just because I've learned so much from them. And occasionally you will find, let's say, a camera lens from B&H cheaper on Amazon than you could get it from B&H directly. Now go figure. Hey Mark. Oh, thank you, Mark. I already got my coffee. Hey Patricia, how you doing? Is it block? China? Thank you. Oh, good. 6 Mile. Yeah, I like eBay. eBay's not as good as it used to be. If you ever want to look, I've been on eBay for like 22 years. My eBay name is Detroit River, one word. I buy a lot of books off eBay, but it's nothing like it used to be in the good old days. I mean, eBay, man, when it first started out, was absolute paradise for a collector. You know, I quit collecting everything, so I don't, but I do buy books occasionally and other things. Oh, thank you. I got a lot more video to upload. My back's still bothering the hell out of me. I figured out, there's a guy, Zach Paulak. He's been on for a while. I haven't. He comments on videos. He comes on the lives occasionally, but I was thinking he made a suggestion, and it's a good suggestion. I'd taken that out west trip quite a few times, actually. I got lucky. I sold a business one time back when you could make money and you could start from scratch. I hate to say it, but I think those days are over. And believe me, I took full advantage of the money I made. I went down and bought that place in Florida, and I did nothing but travel for 10 years. Just have fun, screw around. I really did. And I don't think I could do that again. Business is in the tank with everything, I think. But anyway, I hadn't been out on that Highway 2 in a long time, and to me, it's paradise. It's not like beautiful like Glacier National Park, but those Great Plains states are just hundreds of miles of open driving. But what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to go around Halloween, maybe Thanksgiving, but I'm going to do the same thing in Appalachia. Now, if you look, I was a little bit ignorant on this myself. If you look at Appalachia and you think, well, where in the hell is that? Well, everybody knows it's down around the mountains. It cuts through like West Virginia, Kentucky. But I got thinking to myself, and I thought, well, I kind of know where it's at. But, God, I looked it up, and it's like much longer than I knew. It actually goes up into Pennsylvania, way down into the parts of Georgia. But the parts that I'm interested in are the northeast section of Kentucky and the eastern section of Ohio. So I'm going to do the same kind of trip in October or November that I did out west, only Appalachia. There's a famous photographer, Shelby Stevens. Was it Shelby Stevens? Shelby Adams, maybe. It's Adams or Stevens. He did large format black and white photography, and that's my next thing I want to do. Oh, the post office is super slow. Actually, priority mail is complete. That's why they don't guarantee it. It's just a way to increase revenue with the same old slow service. I don't mind. You get what you pay for. But yeah, the post office sucks. Yeah, I like that area anyway. So I'm gonna go on like West Virginia, Kentucky, maybe a little bit of Tennessee. My parents lived in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Yeah, my mom grew up there. I haven't been down there in a while. I'm gonna get down there at the beginning of next week. This back problem I got. I have had back problems in the past, but not like 25 years. I'm not kidding you. I could barely do anything. It's right at the base of your spine, only on the left side. And I don't sleep for shit. I'm not even eating that great because of this. Tried every damn Tylenol, ibuprofen, TENS unit, heat, stretching, soaking, hot shower, you name it. Oh, thanks, James. I spent a lot of time in Toledo, actually. I went to Monroe Community College, and I first started taking flying lessons at Monroe Airport, and I used to fly down to Toledo Express, to get into a bigger airport, talk to controllers and that kind of thing. And when I went to that junior college, we would go to that movie theater down there that had reclining seats. Do you remember Red Wells? I think they're all out of business now. But I thought Red Wells was just a historical icon. Oh yeah, that's right, Brian. Hey, Philip. Yeah, I'll stop down there, James. Actually, Maumee, rich history down there. I had all the saved glass that was from that church that burned down, that Methodist church, about 40 years ago. I just sold it to a guy in Atlanta about a year and a half ago. Toledo is a great town. It's still, in my opinion, the best zoo I've ever been to, and that's including going to San Diego Zoo. No, I don't. It's not because of sitting, believe it or not. I don't think it is. I mean, that may be what's helped getting it better, but I've ridden this thing around for almost 400,000 miles. It's from carrying luggage up in 2 camera bags and kind of twisting funny, walking up the stairs of a microtel. That's what did it. I know when I did it. Oh, really, Mary? Oh, they got one? No, I went to Monroe, Michigan. Yep. Yeah, all those red wells. Now, they had one that was open in Sylvania up until a couple years ago or so, 3 years ago or so. Is that one closed as well? Hey, Regina. So that's my plans. I'm going to upload the rest of these videos. And I see there's a sign here for the Cannabis Curious. It's funny on these dispensaries. You guys know I got that medical marijuana card, but I actually got it to buy other people's stuff. I've probably eaten 40 gummies since this stuff went legal. I can take them or leave them, to be honest with you. I got a whole shelf full. I'm not really into them. I never smoked marijuana, but I buy that RSO for people and I know that have pain issues. And I mail it to them. Yeah, this is just a spasm. It's not like a disc problem or anything like that. It's just a weird, like, spasm deal. I don't drink enough water either. They say that'll exacerbate it. Hey, Carla. Hey, Bertha. How you doing? You like those photos out there? That little sugar shack, I put a link in the description. A lot of people that watch the videos catch things that I don't. And honestly, when I'm doing something like that, I'm not complaining, but that's like a lot of driving and taking photos and checking in hotels. I mean, it's a busy day. It's like on a low day, 250 miles, on a busy day, 400 or 500 miles, plus stopping and taking photos. And somebody mentioned to me that sugar shack was actually a viable open business. And I looked it up last night and ended up posting a link, that little white and red building, and sure as shit, they are open. They're just closed for the season, which I found kind of odd, because the season, I would think, would be quite busy in the fall due to the big farming and agriculture out there. But it's nice to know that it's still going to be around next year. Hello, Leslie. Hey, Carla. Yeah, I had a girlfriend down there in Sylvania for a while. We used to go down to Toledo all the time. My dad, they, as I said earlier, they were from Connecticut. It's a shotgun wedding. My mother moved to Michigan so he could get a job at a Ford's. And he spent a lot of time in Toledo as well. And as a kid growing up, he was always talking about Toledo and red wells and stuff like that. So, and then I, went to that junior college down there, and of course, Toledo is the biggest happening city. I got a lot of good memories of Toledo. I love that place. That zoo is an excellent example of what privatization can do when you take it out of a city's hands. That's part of the reason for its success. It's run by people that know what they're doing. And they don't depend on millages and tax assessments to stay alive. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I am a former parrot keeper. I came within about a month of losing every damn dime I had in a parrot breeding facility, man. Another month and not getting lucky with a rich lady that inherited like 10 billion shares of railroad stock. I may be stocking shelves at Walmart. Not that that isn't an honest living. But I've dodged some bullets financially in my life. Actually, I just dodged one here a few years ago. Hey, Debbie. The channel actually was just kind of like, I've always been this way. You know, even since a kid, I was taking vacations by myself. And then I started doing photography and I liked it, but I didn't really like taking pictures of people and stuff like that and color. But I kept on doing it, and then I got into large format photography, 4x5 and 8x10, and I did a lot of black and white, travel all over the country. I've done all the national parks that I could get access to in the winter. And then I got burned out on that, and then I kind of still dabbled in it. And then, you know, YouTube came up, and I was kind of sick of doing photography, and I thought, that'd be cool. Maybe I'll just, you know, start doing some videos. So, you know, I was in Detroit anyway, and I'd run into the working girls a lot. And just thought one day maybe I'll just start interviewing one. It was never a plan for a channel. That's why I got this stupid name, Chosen One, because I didn't really care. YouTube wanted you to have an email. It took me forever to even get a Gmail. I didn't want one. But you had to have a Gmail to have a YouTube account, you know, after they bought it. And then they were pushing on people to have a channel name, and I just watched something on LeBron James. You know how you type in like a name and it fills in the rest? And then I typed in Chosen, just thinking of that. And then One popped up, you know, with that kind of spelling. I thought, why not? I didn't care. It didn't matter what popped up. I would have went. I'm back in Michigan. Oh, you like those, Anthony? Yeah. Yeah, I know, Appalachian, man. I was really, that's a high boundary, you know. It's not, you ask anybody and they're not going to be able to most likely what it entails. It's kind of a loosely grouped area of mountainous region in different states. Hey, Amber. So that's how I started the channel. You know, I'm doing the same thing now I did when I didn't have any viewers. I think it's kind of morphed into like people that would do the same thing I do if they had time. And they just like looking at that stuff and listening to these people. So it doesn't take any skill or talent at all. Anybody could do it. And as far as the photos and stuff go, believe me on this. Good cameras take good photos. This is the best camera I've ever owned, not counting film cameras. And I'm not shitting you. I did learn some Photoshop and Lightroom over the winter because I thought I would, like, you know, work on some of these photos that I'd taken. Every single photo that I've taken is on the automatic mode. I'm not shitting you. I don't know what 95% of the functions do on that camera, but you know what? I don't need to know. It's a fantastic camera. And I've got all the lenses that go with it, which are fantastic lenses. They're VR lenses, ER, double-coated glass. I mean, a monkey, if you gave him bananas, could take my camera into a cage and take just as good as photos. I'm telling you. I'm not kidding you. There is no skill to these photos. And the reason they look so good is because every photo that I link together and I upload is 46 megapixels. And you're getting that on a small image. So they look so clear and it's like, wow, this is great photography. Believe me, it's the camera and the lens. No, it's easy. I'm not kidding you, man. I haven't taken, I wouldn't even know how to do a shot on a manual mode. I swear to God. If you guys love photography and you always wanted to do it and there's photos that you'd like to keep or give out or whatever, get yourself a Nikon D850. And I could tell you just one lens to get which would work. Be honest with you, on all those trips on that same lens every time, I didn't switch lenses once. I didn't even use another lens. Hey, Pam. Hey, Helen. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, pretty good day today. This is our new hospital. This used to be a Kmart, actually, and we got a big pissing contest here between Michigan and McLaren. They hate each other's guts. They're always starting to steal employees. I don't really know how this place is doing, but it's politics as usual in small towns. Yeah, Jamie, I'll see her soon. I just had somebody email me yesterday that grew up with Jamie and knows her and her brothers and knows her mother too, which they didn't have very flattering comments to make. Oh, I wanted to tell you too. I'm definitely open to criticism, and believe me, a lot of the ideas I get are from people that watch the videos. But yesterday, and I should have done this sooner. I wish somebody would have said something to me. Sometimes I just do some of the stupidest things. Jamie, the girl that took the baby and supposedly put it in a trash can. It's all over the news. Well, first of all, I told the news stations to pound sand. There is no way in hell I would ever talk to a news station about any working girl I knew, particularly when they were trying to sensationalize a story about her supposedly killing a baby, which is absolute bullshit. This is a troubled, damaged person. The last thing she needs is more publicity. But, the news stations got a hold of me, which I never returned their phone calls. I never returned their emails. And last night, Andy, who works for the Needle Exchange, he's a good guy. By the way, those are super people down there that provide a service free of charge, and they volunteer. They spend 12 and 16-hour days free. He mentioned to me that damn WXYZ's TV station in Detroit again was referencing a YouTube video about Jennifer. And it dawned on me right then when he texted me that, and I thought, you know what? I should take these videos down. It's not their business. Nobody's going on there to give Jennifer her hand or to wish her well or to get her help or to understand the situation. So I took both those videos and I privatized them last night so nobody can watch them. Yeah, it's Tom Reed, TOMREED, 1956 at gmail.com. I should have done that right out of the chute. I don't know what I was thinking. Places operate. No, not Jamie. Jennifer. Jennifer. Yeah, believe me, I'm not letting them watch the videos. Yeah, well, I hid the video last night. If you guys see that video being played on some TV stations or something, let me know, because that's a copyright violation. Now I got them. They could put a link to my YouTube channel before, but they can't use those videos without my permission, and I would never give anybody permission to use those. No, hey Daisy, how you feeling? Yeah, I don't know why I didn't do that right out of the chute. The minute I heard about that, I should have took it down. But to be honest with you, that kind of a life of its own, and I didn't really. I knew people knew about it, but I never thought. And honestly, people really didn't do it as much as you'd think. They didn't connect her to the videos like I thought they would. There were comments, but I would have noticed it if all of a sudden I got crazy views and I started getting all sorts of comments. It wasn't really that out of the ordinary, to tell you the truth. So I thought, yeah, that's her. I do have a couple of interviews with her, but I didn't think people would know to look at the YouTube channel based on what they saw in the news. It wasn't as significant as you think, but I still should have took him down the minute I heard about it, and I didn't. I did, yeah. So a lot of people did. Actually, I know I've talked to people that grew up with Jennifer that were open arms. One lady that grew up with her and her husband were willing to adopt the baby. Good, doing well. So, I mean, if you listen to those interviews, you'd realize Jennifer had a terrible upbringing. Both parents died from heroin overdoses. Half these girls are getting fondled and screwed by their foster parents and stepdads and neighbors, and it's a bad life. Jennifer needs support. Oh yeah, they believe me. It's probably who knows what's true about that story. You know, this a guy sent me an article last night about that. Supposedly, she said she was going to throw it in the trash right after she had. That could all be bullshit. What I hope didn't happen is that the cops didn't get her and she just waived her rights and told them a bunch of stuff that they're going to use to bury her. This girl obviously has some issues and needs some help. She doesn't need to be posterized on a news channel. Yeah. Well, that's how it is, though. I know how they operate. You know that those TV and newspapers, they're not. That's a perfect story for them to run with. Baby girl throws baby in a trash can, some bullshit like that. Probably wasn't even in a trash can. Yeah, I don't have anything to do with them. I learned that a long time ago. When I first started doing PI work, I would cross paths with stories sometimes. I got sued by a judge one time. Then I had the Ann Arbor News and the Detroit News. I probably had 10 television interviews and maybe 20 newspaper interviews over a 30-year period. And I slowly started to figure out, you know, when you're first starting out and you're thinking, oh, you know, like it adds some credibility that these people are interested in something that you happen to be investigating. And then you get smart about it and you realize how they exaggerate, how they keep out parts of the truth, that it has nothing to do with reporting the truth or helping anyone. And I figured that out probably about 20 years ago. And I thought right then, there is no way in hell I'm ever going to give an interview to a TV station or a newspaper again. It gets you nowhere. Yeah, she went to Michigan State. Yeah, that's the way it is, though. I mean, but you figure out the news, you know, it's capitalism, right? The news is a business. And these people have perfected what sells. Do you think anybody'd read a story about throws baby in trash, doing well now, got counseling, has changed her life? Hell no. But boy, they'll talk about that baby in a trash can for the next 100 years. If it even happened. I bet the baby wasn't even in a trash can. That's how they lie, but it's sensationalism. You think, wow, you know, baby in trash can. Who would do that? That's terrible. For you know what, you're reading this stupid shit and watching their channel. God. I mean, you can only imagine what goes through a young girl's mind, drug addicted, working in that environment, having something like that happen. It's just gotta, even like, God knows what goes through your mind. Locked up. They would, George. Mary, did you know her? Do you know her or her family? Did you know her from that area? Yeah, I got my coffee right here. Yep. Daisy girl. Yeah, panicked. Yep. I don't know. I don't know what she did. All I know is that I know what her upbringing told. And you can say, well, what does your upbringing have to do with doing that to a baby? I don't know all the circumstances. There could be some crazy drug dealer in the background. I don't. The daddy of the baby. Who knows? I don't know. Oh, okay. Yeah, it would validate the lies. Yep. They are not out to help anybody. No. You know, another thing, I mean, somebody told me this the other day. Evidently, they use these things to smoke crack called stems, and they're selling them in gas stations around Detroit. And they've got them like modified to where they look like tire pressure gauges and pens and that kind of stuff. And supposedly that gets them around getting charged with selling drug paraphernalia. But evidently this is a big deal over around there too, which I didn't know about. Because I think this needle exchange outfit, I guess they give clean stems to like crack smokers, which I didn't know about. Evidently they get a lot of these abscesses because of bacteria, because of using old stems, and now there's some kind of rift going on between the gas station owners and the needle exchange places, because the gas station owners feel that they're cutting into their business. Well, I don't think gas stations should be selling that shit to begin with. She's a great dog, Patricia. No, you're right about that, George. I think that all the time. You don't know what's right or wrong. You know, remember how they used to portray the police when you were a kid? You'd grown up, and you see the police. You're supposed to be happy. You're supposed to feel safe. People making comments. Oh my God! Thank God the police are here. Now, you don't know whether to think that or not. I mean, there's a lot of good cops out there. I don't have problems with them in general. But it's like you see the cop show up, you're supposed to feel, thank God, instead of, uh-oh, now what? Yeah, everything is upside down. Oh, they have been around for years, but Pam, do you consider that drug paraphernalia? You consider that drug paraphernalia? I mean, if they're making them look like tire gauges and ink pens, why are they doing that if there isn't something wrong with it? I mean, I don't know if this is good or bad or... Oh, okay. Harm reduction. Okay. Well, that would make sense then. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, really? Not that I know of. Not that I know of down there. I mean, I hear these stories. Let me give you an example of a story that I think is bullshit. You'll hear Detroit's got a lot of guns. Now, what I do know for sure, and this is through a lot of sources, I have people tell me all the time, is they're amazed at the teenagers, young teenagers, 13, 14, 15, that are carrying guns in Detroit. And you hear stories that you can go to any gas station and get a gun in Detroit. It's not true. You got to be connected to get a gun in Detroit. You're not walking into a gas station and get one. That's a bunch of bullshit. Nuh-uh. Not true. I'm not saying you can't get guns, but it isn't as easy as going into a gas station. Oh, really, Mary? Okay. Smoke crack. Huh. Well, I guess then they use dirty ones, and because they're glass, and there's a relation to infections and bad stems, I guess, which is why these harm reduction programs hand them out. No, I never did drugs. No, not yet, anyway. Oh, okay. That's true, Brian. Yeah, you're right about that. Oh, okay. Hey, Mark, have a good day. Yeah, I used to be, man. I've really trailed off on sports. The only thing I watch now is boxing and MMA. I do watch an occasional basketball or football game, but not like I used to. I used to be a Pistons fan, yep, big time. Hey, Nadine, how you doing? What time is it here? It's about 12 noon, isn't it? Something like that. Hey, Dolly, how you doing? I mean, when you don't know anything about drugs and you don't know the street people, and you think just say no to drugs. Why are you giving people clean needles, and why are you giving them free stems? Well, I used to think that way too. When I was young, stupid, and ignorant, and didn't do drugs, I thought that everybody that did had a screw loose, and that Why in God's name would you give a heroin addict free needles? Well, I'm older now. I've become educated on the subject, and I know why. Because eventually it costs society a lot less when you give them these things. It sounds nuts, but you look at endocarditis and all the associated abscesses and infections that go with using dirty stems and dirty needles. It saves society a ton of money by doing that. If you hung your hat on nothing else, that's the one reason to stick with it. It makes sense financially. You don't get away from paying the bills for these things. Society ends up footing the bill one way or the other, so why not head it off at the pass? That's what I think. Yeah. Yeah, HIV too. That's exactly right. This is old news, but I know there are a lot of homeless people that are HIV positive. And I know as long as 10 years ago, that was about 7 grand a month that the taxpayers paid per person for protea inhibitors for people that were HIV positive. No, you're right, Mary. Yeah, that's it. Both sides. Yeah, another thing too is like you'll figure out after going down there, poor people, homeless people, and drug addicts, they usually don't have transportation. And that's how the businesses are established in the neighborhoods they frequent. For every place like 6 Mile and Telegraph where I go, where there's a lot of drug use, homelessness, prostitution, whatever, you'll find in those areas that the guy that owns the party store is making an absolute killing. If you're white and educated and live in a nice suburb, you can get your 2 liter of Diet Pepsi for 99 cents. It's nothing to pay 2 1/4 for a 16-ounce Pepsi at a gas station in the hood. Why? Because they've got a captive market. They pay $3 a piece for a roll of toilet paper. They don't have the luxury of being able to drive and shop. Everything's cheaper in the suburbs than it is downtown. From a gallon of gas, to a loaf of bread, to a hot dog, a bag of chips. But they really get them on the energy drinks and the pop because they know these people, if they want one, are going to have to pay it. People in the hood don't bargain shop in general. They walk with a sharpened cart a half mile and they pay double to triple for everything than someone that was making 10 times the money did 20 miles away. That's the way it works. Not in my area. Now, nothing goes on up here. This is like happy days. People don't lock their doors. I woke up this morning. I'll show it to you later. I'm losing one of my neighbors. They're moving to get closer to their children. They wrote me a nice 1-page letter telling me what a great neighbor I was, how they missed me, they're going to miss me, and gave me a plate of cookies. And that's how it is up here. It's like the old days, man. It's really a quality place to live. Not much to do, but there's no protest going on up here. I got an idea. If you tried to protest up here, either nobody'd show up or you'd get arrested right away. They don't put up with that bullshit up here. All right, Amber, take care. But that's there's also this is well documented. The working poor, and that basically summarizes like Southwest Detroit, where I go, 6 Mile and Telegraph. You and your wife are both working, or your girlfriend, whoever, both working full-time jobs, and you're slowly going broke. At $10 an hour, you're not making enough to sustain yourself in a car and insurance. Detroit is well aware that 80% of the people that are residents of the city don't have any car insurance. If you get pulled over where I'm at right now, you're getting your car impounded and a $400 ticket. If you get pulled over in Detroit and you're not having insurance, the cop's expecting it. They know that 8 out of 10 people don't have insurance on their car down there, and they're not doing anything about it. You need to build like supersized jails. And you can forget about fining somebody $400 in Detroit for not having insurance. You're never going to get it from them. Up here, they're going to pay it the next day because they need to drive 20 miles to work. Yeah, solution. I don't think there is one. I really don't. Which is why it keeps going on like this. Yeah, I think reality is the proof that the solution is an abstract fantasy. There isn't one. No, that FDDR, boy, those guys are saints in my opinion. That's another thing too. Here they're going to write all these articles of throwing a baby in a trash can, which, like I said, probably isn't true. You think they're going to write a big full-page article of FDDR and how they fed people that otherwise would have gone hungry during this COVID bullshit? Hell no. Why would they? Nobody wants to read it. That's my point. Yeah, that's the whole point of this thing. It's all upside down. That's another thing too I can never figure out. WIC, which is a federally subsidized program. You can get cheese and different kind of things for babies, but no diapers. Will somebody explain that to me? What would seem to me, other than food, the single most important thing that somebody that didn't have any money could use would be diapers. Why in the hell aren't they getting them? Diapers are expensive. I just don't get it. I mean, you can take this old right-wing crazy logic that, well, they shouldn't be having babies if they can't afford them. Yeah, I get that. Yep. That's another argument, another day. It's like the same kind of moron that thinks the death penalty is a good idea because it saves money on jailing people. When someone makes a comment like that to me, we're not discussing anything anymore because I'm just never going to get through to your dumbass. I don't even know. Is $1 a lot for a diaper? Is that a good deal or paying too much? But I've learned a lot of this stuff the hard way. Believe me, when I was young, I had ignorant parents. And I learned everything the hard way. Every single thing I've struggled for. I have. I didn't get... It was all like through trial and error, doing stupid shit. And my parents were kind of like that. Look at these prostitutes, they need to get a job out there selling themselves. When you're a kid growing up, your job as a parent is to educate your kids in a non-biased way. It wasn't like that for me. I would listen to these stupid-ass comments and actually started growing up believing that myself. It's like these girls are just like low life, they don't care for themselves. They're just having babies and not caring. And I'm thinking, yeah, it sounds really bad. You're a kid, It's like, why would anybody do that? So before you know it, you're treating these people the same way your parents did. And then you see the big picture slowly. When I first started going to college, I used to just like somebody say, oh, what are you majoring in? Social work. See you later. And that was the brainwashing that I got from my parents. I thought social workers were just going to go out there and give a bunch of lazy bums that like to fuck all day long free shit. I actually thought this. So when I found somebody in college that I may have been interested in or was going to socialize with, and they were going to be a social worker, I didn't want to have anything to do with them. And it took years for me to slowly have the light bulb come on to figure out, God damn, are my parents ignorant? I realized that everybody didn't get the same break from birth that I did, which wasn't that great a one, and just started thinking differently. Yeah, and that's something, Debbie. Yeah, I'm thinking they're just like, if you notice, I don't even like calling girls hookers or prostitutes or any of that kind of stuff. I never do. No way. I think it's like demeaning. Nobody raises their hand in the 4th grade and says, you know what? I'd like to grow up and be a hooker. Or, you know what? I'd like to be a heroin addict by the time I'm 60. It doesn't work that way. This isn't a sign of success. It's not normal behavior. It's like suicide. It's not a normal thought to want to end your life. It's not normal. Oh, that's another thing. Food stamps. I heard that all the time. And the media, they'll make it look like food stamps is one big scam going on in party stores and gas stations. They'll never tell you the good side about somebody hanging in there because they get food stamps. They're going to tell you the bad side about some guy driving a Cadillac or some party store owner getting charged with fraud or some bullshit like that. If you look at the numbers on subsidies and food stamps, you'll find try and live on that. It's the difference between starving in your own home and living. Such bullshit. Yeah, that's good, Mary. Yeah. Yeah, this should have been taught to me growing up. I shouldn't have had to take 20 years to figure it out on my own. Yeah, it's called suicidal ideation. As you probably know, I spent a whole month in two different mental hospitals 3 years ago. So I understand it. I know how you can get down in the hole like that and you can't get out. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, $194 a month. Yeah, and these people are getting rich, right? See, that's how the media sells it, though. They'll find one isolated incident, or they'll find somebody that's, scamming food stamps under 25 different names and driving a Cadillac. Such bullshit. But these are the stories that I was telling you about earlier, just like the baby in the trash can that the media runs with. It's nothing about education in reality. It's about sensationalizing headlines to sell newspapers. You see some nice looking girl or some nice looking guy well dressed on the 11 o'clock news, and you're believing this bullshit because in your eyes you think they're successful and they're telling you the truth. They're not. That's right, Mammy. Yeah. Yeah. Daisy doesn't give a shit. There you go, Jamie. Yep. Up the price of food stamps. That's exactly it. I got a book on this. And yeah, I got a million books I got to read still, but the gist of it is that companies market the poor. And they do that because it's easy to get them addicted to things. Less education, less addiction. That goes with cigarettes, alcohol. And if you look at it from an illegal capitalism theory, you're not going to find a better business to ruin a neighborhood to get rich on than selling heroin. It's the worst thing ever. A lot of people refer to it as the devil. And I can't think of anything worse than heroin. I really can't. To just take down everything, to cost society a fortune, to ruin a person's life. It gets them physiologically and mentally. Yeah. You're right, Mark. It's true. Yep. Yep, meth. That's exactly it. Yeah. It's always interesting to me. This is one thing that kind of sticks out. Now, one thing you can say is that of the working girls, that none of them know anybody that got COVID. On the other hand, they're young people that probably could have it that don't know they have it. So I got an idea that testing is probably really low. But I find it really interesting when you go in areas like that and you find women that do this for a source of income. Rubbers aren't considered safe sex. The CDC will verify that, right? So you've got hepatitis all over, all sorts of sexually transmitted diseases. and a host all sorts of other shit, getting beat up, whatever, associated with this kind of work, which you would think would just drive the most people into something else. And here they're worried about getting COVID. It's just interesting to me. You know, you got working girls wearing masks. I just think, God, you know, where you get into educated people that have a job, they're not drug addicts, and they got normal careers. They're getting colonoscopies, they're going to the dentist, they're getting their blood pressure checked, they're having their sugar analyzed. Not down there. I can tell you, of anybody I've interviewed, I bet Marguerite's never had a colonoscopy and doesn't want one. No, that's true, Patricia. I remember hearing those stories as well, too. A guy could not be living with you. That's right. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Jeff Bezos, I mean, isn't that the American dream, capitalism? I mean, isn't that the way it's supposed to work? I mean, it's not like he went out and, did what Bernie Madoff did. I mean, that's how this society's set up. Oh, you got one down there, Mark? Yeah, I haven't been down in Miami in a long time. Yeah, that's true, Phil. Yeah. Hey, Kay, how you doing? I mean, the world is just at unrest. You know, you know, 15 years ago, I'd worry about my own problems, and now I worry about everybody else's because of this constant, never-ending barrage of continuous bullshit. When's this? When can you eat at a restaurant? When can a restaurant allow 100% capacity? When are jobs going to come back? I worry about other people. Yeah, start from your garage. That's right, Cable. Yeah. I eat tacos. Yeah. Yeah, actually, Jamie, I actually thought of just flying out to Seattle for a weekend sometimes and going down around that area. Check out Seattle. I'm not that big of a fan of Seattle, but just a place new. You know? I mean, when you understand that society is not going to get out of footing the bill one way or the other, you might as well head it off at the pass. That's what I say. Another thing on poor people and criminal charges too. That's another thing that just you realize when you're down. Here's another thing people don't understand. When I got in my legal troubles, I represented myself. And not that I'm some smarty pants that's smarter than everybody that's prosecuting me, but I know enough to drive them absolutely fucking crazy. I wear them down and break them down until I strike a deal with them. That's not a sign of intelligence. It's that I know how to play the game. And if you don't know how to do that, they'll tell you, well, you have a right to a court-appointed attorney. That's true. But here's what they don't tell you. Two things that people don't understand. They say you have a right to a jury trial. That's true. But do you know you pay for the jury trial? That's assessed in your court fees. And you do. You have a right to an attorney if you can't afford one. You know what? You pay for that too. Now here's the problem. That gets assessed in your court fees. But the problem with that is that all sounds great. Wow, I'm an American, red, white, and blue. If I can't afford an attorney, I can make sure that my rights are always going to be protected because I'm going to get the court to appoint one for me. Yeah, you are. But you know what the kind of attorney you're going to get that's going to represent you? One that's doing a flat rate fee for about $400 a pop on a misdemeanor. And because there's no money in it to begin with, he's going to plea bargain your case. He's never going to want to take it to trial. He's not going to want to take it to trial, even if the evidence that the police have against you is shitty, because there's no money in it. Where the other guy that can afford 10 grand to give an attorney, he's going to dot every I and cross every T. And, you know, the burden of proof's on the prosecution. You as a defendant's trying to get the fuck out of it. And if you don't think there's a big difference between having 10 grand and getting a $400 flat rate fee attorney, you're fucking crazy. That's exactly right, Negative. That's right. Yeah. There you go, Armin. I see you guys are figuring it out. The jury trial up here, if you get a jury trial, but a lot of times, if they've got you by the balls, your jury's your only hope. Because if you go to a savvy prosecutor, the agreement that they're going to offer you is too stiff. It's too much money. It's too much time. It's a felony. You can't afford to go with that. So you got to go to a jury, and you're hoping to appeal to somebody to either blow in a hole in their case or getting someone in the jury to thinking, you know, jury to think this guy is really gotten railroaded, and I'm going to find him not guilty. It's a slippery slope when you get into the criminal justice system. And if you don't think that when you're drug addicted, broke, and getting charged with prostitution, if you think you're getting a fair shake at representation, you're wrong. You're not. That's exactly right, Mark. And you better get a lawyer that is willing to listen to you. You can always kind of figure it out if you've been around a while. These lawyers are going to bullshit you. I'll give you an example here in the county that I live in. If you go in there pro se, pro per, you represent yourself, you're going to get a boilerplate plea offer. And you know what? That's the same offer that you're going to get when you put file with a local attorney. But the prosecutor's job isn't to inform you you're getting, it's to prosecute you. Yeah. Hey, Angela. Look at this crazy, stupid judge who I'm going to grieve, actually, that I got in the ticket. I'm actually going to turn him into the, write a letter to the Judicial Tenure Commission. You know, I got that ticket for Daisy on my lap, which, by the way, isn't against the law. And my view wasn't obstructed. Now, I did a plea bargain to where I didn't get points on my license. It still cost me $150, which is absolute fucking bullshit. My whole life, no one's ever said anything about a dog on my lap. And you know why? Because there's nothing wrong with it. It wasn't distracting. That's what careless and reckless tickets are for. If you're a dumbass and your dog's on your lap, licking your face, and you're cutting people off and people are blowing horns, you're going to get a ticket for reckless or careless driving, which I agree with. All my life, no one said anything about it. It's because you're stupid. So anyway, this stupid judge that I had the first time, not only did he not want to see any of my evidence, he didn't want to see any of my photographs. He didn't want to see the actual videotape that I got from the cop car's car. And the dumbass said to me that he didn't think it was a good idea that dogs were on people's lap, which I don't give a shit about. I don't care what he thinks. I care what the legislature did. And that he finalized his berating me with saying, what if my dog had to go to the bathroom? What the hell kind of guy is in the capacity of a judge making a comment like this? What if it did? What a dumbass. That's true, George. That's how it started. No, it's nuts. I still think that guy. I'm not done with that guy yet, even though I settled the ticket. I'm still working on that. Look, they tried to, some idiot introduced that, and it never even made it to the floor for a vote. Oh, really, Patricia? I'm not saying that it never happens, but it shouldn't be in a crate. Yeah, it's true, Philip. Yep, that's true, George. Yep. If you're stupid and uneducated and you get charged with a crime, you got a real problem and have no money. That's what I say. Long as they're not that there are other charges associated with carelessness. If you're dumb enough to have a dog on your lap and he's causing you to do things, you should get a careless or reckless driving ticket. I'm all for that. So, there was a perfect example of a bad day. I got a dumbass cop that doesn't know what he's doing. His stupid ass even said to me when he pulled me over, I'm pulling you over because you got a dog on your lap. That is not a charge. It's not a civil infraction and it's not a criminal charge. So what? Then I got a stupid judge on top of it who made stupid comments. Yeah, no shit. Get him a job in Antler. He's too dumb to work in Antler. Old surly, rude, ignorant bastard. Well, he's going to need to respond to my complaint, and I'm curious what kind of bullshit he comes up with to answer. I don't care if he doesn't like dogs on people's laps. It's not for him to decide. Fucking moron. That cost me another 10 months of messing around because of that dumbass. Yeah, exactly right, LA. Yeah. And then follows it up with, what if the dog had to go to the bathroom? Yeah, it's like Judge Judy show, and it was real. Yeah, well. Now the second judge on this latest deal, I had to do a virtual hearing, but I had already worked it out with the prosecutor. Complete gentleman. I think he was super professional the way he handled my case, although he didn't need to do much because I struck a deal. But I watched how he treated other people. But this other idiot down there ought to be removed from the bench ASAP. And I got an idea that he does this shit all the time and nobody ever calls him out on it. Well, if you look at most places, the patrol officers, the guys that are arresting you, really aren't that savvy with the law. Isn't that crazy, Carla? They're really not. You'll find what'll happen sometimes is they'll charge you and then they'll drop charges later. They'll arrest you and then they'll formally charge you 3 weeks later, or they'll drop the charges. That's because the guys on the street really don't know what they're doing. And because of governmental immunity, people get arrested all the time and the charges are dropped, but it allows them to get you charged and get the ball rolling, and for someone with a much higher IQ to make the decision on if this is legit or not. I mean, everybody knows if you're drunk driving, that's a no-brainer. Careless, reckless speeding, running a stop sign. But when you get into another area where the law is a little more complex, it's not up to the patrol officer to decide whether this is going to stick or not. Oh, a super idiot. And rude on top of it. Hey, Eric. Yeah. Well, they'll say, well, you get a public defender, it's a misdemeanor. Let me tell you, a misdemeanor is a pain in the ass. It's still a criminal record. It can keep you from going into Canada. It can make your insurance rates go up. You've got to check yes if you've ever been charged and convicted of a criminal charge. It's way, way, way better than a felony, but it can still be a big problem. Huge. It can keep you from getting a job. Hey, Shannon. Yeah, Ken, everybody acts like, oh, misdemeanor, yeah. Well, it can cause you a lot of problems. I settled it. I don't have any charges against me now. Got a clean slate again. I pled guilty to impeding traffic or some bullshit. Didn't even happen. It's fucking nonsense. Like I said, I'm not done with that cop yet. I already got him on the ropes about not meeting the time requirements for Freedom of Information Act requests, which I'm going to sue them for in November. $5,000 a pop it's going to cost them. No, I can tell you guys ever have any. I got a lot of experience in that. They're looking for the slam dunk. I can give you all sorts of examples in my life where I had bullshit happen, and I've represented myself, and they laugh about it. Like, well, you better get an attorney. Believe me, if I got charged with a felony, I will get an attorney. But on misdemeanors, ain't happening. I will wear their ass down. I tell them right away, you're going to have to hire part-time help. That Freedom of Information Act is a very potent tool to get these people to see the light. And once they're putting about 15 hours a week on responding to your requests, what they thought was funny at the beginning kind of makes the settlement idea attractive to them. And now there are a lot of them have budget constraints, poorly staffed, behind, and it just makes it even better for the person charged. Yeah, it's the way I look at it, Patricia. Hey, look, most cops I think are good guys. Watch it, Frank. It's about a sign, yeah. That's exactly right, LA. Yep. No, it wasn't a misdemeanor. No, it was a civil infraction. But it was bullshit because it's not against the law to have a dog in your lap. And even the state police agreed that there wasn't any driving associated with carelessness or recklessness. Therefore, I should have never been pulled over. I can't find one cop that's written a ticket for that in his whole goddamn career. And here a guy comes all the way over 4 lanes to pull me over while people are racing down I-94 doing 85 miles an hour. Bullshit. Some places. I mean, cops have a hard job. Look, you need law enforcement. I'm not saying that it should just be vigilantism and everybody does what they feel like. But there are bad cops out there. I think that cop that wrote me a ticket for Daisy had a problem with my YouTube channel. And I had 2 people call me and tell me he'd run his big mouth about it before. And if you looked at the video I uploaded, that cop has a criminal record in Ohio. He was a total shitbag in Detroit. He shouldn't be a cop. What do you mean, Cable? Like, I mean, well, I'm not sure what you're asking me. Yeah. And cops will bullshit you blind all the time. They'll come up and say, is that recorder on? It's like, yeah. It's like, could you turn it off, please? It's like, no, I'm not turning it off. I'm not turning it off. Cops ask you things all the time and tell you things that you don't need to do. You're driving down the highway, a cop pulls you over at 2 in the morning. It's like, where are you going? It's like, none of your fucking business. You're probably going to get a ticket for something, but you don't need to answer that question. Let me tell you, the right to remain silent is huge, but they'll bullshit you. They'll come up like they're friends with you. Hey, Tom, where are you going? It's like, oh, yeah, I'm just going up to go to an orgy. I got to bang a couple blue-eyed, blonde-haired Swedish chicks in about an hour. Oh, okay, you're driving a little fast then, weren't you? All of a sudden, you're agreeing to all this bullshit. But you're afraid if you tell him it's none of your business, you're going to get a ticket for something anyway. It's been upheld in the Supreme Court that cops can lie to use it against you. They can make up whatever story they want to get you to say something. Keep that in mind. People should be charged for committing crimes. I get that. But you shouldn't be charged for bullshit and be pulled over for nothing. That's my point. Oh, yeah, I got a lot more of those coming, Philip. Yeah, I mean, I'm not for a lawless society. You can't have crazies driving 80 miles an hour down 25 miles. I'm all for this. I get it. Give them tickets. When I got that ticket out at that damn Glacier National Park, this is the discussion we had. So I'm driving down the fucking park, doing 5 miles an hour, videotaping bullshit. And here I get pulled over by this fucking park ranger. It's probably because that kook in Flint called him up, made up some story that I was throwing beer cans out to get their interest. So he pulls over. He said, you know why I'm pulling you over? It's like, no, not really. He said, you were using a recording device while you were driving. It's like, yeah, I was. He said, that's against the law. Now, you know, parks are federal jurisdiction, which is different than state, which I'm not really up on. But I really believe that he wasn't pulling me over and making things up. So he said, how long were you recording when you were driving? I said, I was recording about 30 minutes. And he said, that's egregious. I said, no, it's not egregious. Not at all. He said, yes, it is. I said, no, it isn't. If I'm going to get the ticket, we're going to discuss this, right? I said, well, when wouldn't it have been egregious? Would 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes? When did you decide in your mind, the legislature didn't do it, you did, that it went from being just something I shouldn't be doing to egregious? Well, he couldn't answer that. I said, and as long as we're discussing this, when you're running plates, when you're fucking with your radio, when you're using your radar detector, when you're raising a coffee to drink it, could you consider that dangerous use of a motor vehicle? He said, no. I said, neither do I. I wasn't looking through the viewfinder. That camera in my hand wasn't any different than sipping a coffee, looking at a GPS, and you already mentioned earlier that there wasn't any driving associated with carelessness. He said he followed me for 3 miles. So where's this danger you're talking about? It's a fucked up law. It should have never been passed. If you guys need money to run this goddamn scam, then give me the $250 ticket and let's get it over with. And he said, well, you know, this is going to require a court appearance. You're going to need to come back out there. Okay, at the cheapest, lowest rate possible, that would have cost me about $2,100. He knows that I'm from 2,000 miles away. So I said, I got to come back over this fucking bullshit because I was doing 5 miles an hour with a camera in my hand that I wasn't looking through, even though it was no different than holding a coffee. He said, you know, I'm not here to ruin your life. I said, well, you're not here to ruin my life, but you're sure fucking up my vacation. My point here is there wasn't anything dangerous. Now, some douchebag wrote this law up that just by virtue of having a camera on was somehow an unlawful, unsafe use of a motor vehicle. It's fucking bullshit. And you know it because you do things just like I do that aren't unsafe. I was fucking multitasking, bitch. Wasn't doing anything wrong. So he kind of like was looking at my driver's license. I said, would you agree with that or not? Did you see anything actually dangerous other than a douchebag dreaming this shit up as they passed this law? And he had to say no. So what he finally did was gave me some fucking other goddamn ticket. I don't even bother reading them. About some other bullshit where I didn't need to go to court. Here's the ass kicker. $250 fine and a $30 processing fee. I asked him about that too. I said, this is the computer age, man. I pay my goddamn credit card bill every month. Do you think they charge me for a processing fee? They don't. You know why? Because it's computerized. It takes about a half a second to process the whole goddamn thing. So I'm getting $250 fucking fine for this bullshit and $30 processing fee for what? He said, well, I can't answer that. Shit, I said, have you ever checked into it? That's the way I can't answer it. So $280 to drive through this fucked up, pothole-ridden shithole of a national park. He said yes. Fucking bullshit, man. Well, I realized right then, if I'm getting a ticket, you're going to at least hear my side of the story. And in this particular instance, this guy agreed. And you know what? I don't need a lecture when I get pulled over for something. It's not up to him to determine what is egregious and what isn't. He's in a position to create revenue for the park, which is why all the goddamn rails are falling down, the signs are faded out, the chuck holes are there, and you got to drive 15 fucking miles around Old Faithful to see it now because the park's in such disrepair. If you guys need money, just let me know. I'll donate it to you, and you don't need to pull me over for bullshit. Yeah. I'd take it, man. I'd take it. Yeah, that's right. That's not his job. These parks have a huge fiscal problem right now. And that's a big money-making scam. And for you to say that a camera in my hand that I'm not looking through is an unsafe use of a motor vehicle, you need a fucking psychiatrist. Yeah, he can go and twiddle with his radar detector and talk on his police radio and whatever other goddamn thing he's got going in that cop car. That's not dangerous, but what I do is bullshit. No, you're right, Philip. That's true. Oh, I think here's what I think happens. I think in the morning that your district commander, chief, or whatever the hell they call him, says, hey, look, there are violators out there. We need you guys to enforce the law. You're not legislatures, you're law enforcement officers. When you see a violation, we're not asking for your personal opinion. We're asking you to write a ticket for that violation. That's your job. Get out there and do it. So that's what he did. So I can't really fault the guy. Actually be left on good terms. Now, I didn't see any I didn't see any protest. No, I mean, they try and set you up. It's like the $50,000 question when you get pulled over. Do you know why I pulled you over? You're screwed either way. It's like, yeah, I know why you pulled me over. I was speeding. He said, then you understand why you're getting the ticket. And if you say no, then he thinks you're lying. So, I mean, you know what I mean? I didn't see any protest. Nope. Nope. And I'm going to tell that cop that he needs to watch my videos, and he's going to appreciate that I was recording because he's going to be able to see some nice video footage. And if I wasn't recording, he wouldn't be able to see it. And that's some of his logic. That's what I'll say. If you're out there by yourself and you've driven 2,000 miles one way, I've tried those dash-mounted cams. They're not worth shit. I mean, you're by yourself. You're on vacation. I mean, what's Daisy supposed to hold the camera? Yeah, I am too, LA. I am too. What city are you in, Patricia? You're not in Eugene, Oregon. You talk about a kooky mayor. Chicago, too. How these people get to those positions is just a mystery to me. I mean, they obviously got some huge psychiatric issues. I mean, I think people should have a right to protest. I don't have a problem with it. I'll tell you, protesting's effective, though. People just get tired of bullshit, and they bust at the seams. Yeah, thanks, Philip. Yeah, you sound like the judge now. I cannot wait. I'll put a video up of the letter that I sent. He's going to need to respond to that, too, the big dumbass. I've seen these judges before in court where, they just feel like they're the biggest person in the world. It goes beyond the realm of what they're there for to begin with. Steady cam, yeah, but you miss too much. On the cameras that I've had, it just like goes right straight out the window. And it's not as good a view. Such bullshit, man. Yeah, that one with Daisy on my lap ended up costing me about $150 total. It's not, which you can say, well, that's not bad. Well, it depends how you look at it. It's not bad because it could have been 300, right? But I also shouldn't have got it to begin with. You know that crazy lowlife scumbag Debbie from Flint, too? You know that bitch was calling police departments while I was out west? She's got a lot of nerve for driving around drunk, having outstanding warrants and never paying her tickets, worried about me doing any distracted driving. She is such a fucking dumbass. Pure white trash. God, she's such a loser. She's always talking about y'all. Here's a 50-year-old, ugly, unattractive, poorly educated bag trying to stay hip with young person's lingo. She just looks like such a moron. I mentioned the other day, that kook, actually, I talked to Raven's mother and her sister. And they think that this Debbie is just a total nut job. They actually got a hold of the cemetery, and they didn't want the cemetery telling this nut where Raven was buried because they just think she's a lunatic that's dangerous. Oh, you're Cherokee sassy? Oh, that's cool. That's another thing, too. This, you look at these Native Americans out west. So sad. Yeah, there's something wrong with her. I mean, she lives with her mom. Her mom uses her dependent. It doesn't get much lower than that. Outstanding tickets, buying TVs with stimulus money when she has outstanding warrants. What a scumbag. Yeah, well, I never really thought that way, Ellie. I don't think anybody that's dead is resting in peace. I mean, people say that, but man, I'm never gonna admit that somebody's better off being dead than alive. Because none of us really know for sure what that entails, although I got a pretty good idea. That was a young, attractive woman that could have done a lot of things that's no longer around. And if that's resting in peace, I think I'll pass. I don't, two things make me feel not as bad as I could over Raven. One, I got to pitch her on her family and deliver that gift. That's number one. And number two, I don't think Raven was ever going to get out of there. I mean, that had a lock on her, and she had a lot of abuse as a young girl. I hate to say that, but I'm right. She didn't get out of there. Good. I wish she'd just go away. I still get emails from that lunatic. She's a lunatic too, but she's got a real super low IQ. I mean, like around seventh or eighth grade. I mean, she doesn't have a full deck of cards, Philip. I don't really worry about her too much because she's so dumb. I hate to give Debbie any credit, but she's actually smarter than that idiot. That's right, Mamie. Me, no, I don't. No, I don't. I don't buy into it. What I will say is that I think that if Christianity, I think the argument that salvation, let's say for an example that salvation is real, I can understand the logic behind that. You do this, you agree to it, and you get salvation. But with regard to Christianity and being amongst the living, I don't believe in it at all. I don't think praying does anything. I think it's a waste of time. And that philosophy of God and Jesus and salvation while you're alive doesn't mean anything. I can just give you endless examples. But salvation, when it's lights out and you're going to go to eternity and fly around the sky with angels because you did this and you did that. Okay. I don't agree with it, but but the Christianity amongst the living, no. I don't go with it. Nope. I don't agree with it. I don't believe it. Yeah, because consciousness requires organs to be functioning. Oxygen, blood, neuron, kidneys, livers. And when it's all over, it's no different than a squashed squirrel on the side of the road. That mechanism for consciousness is gone. Believe me, I wish it was true that you could do everything right, but I just see too many examples of people that have just gotten screwed from day one. I'd like to believe that, that this heaven and hell and that Raven would be in heaven. I'd like to believe that's true. But I know what Raven's life was like that she didn't deserve before that, and that's where I have the big problem. That's right, Mamie. Yeah, but I don't think prayer does anything. I think it's a total waste of time. I could be wrong. People feel good when they pray, and don't pray for me. You're wasting your time. I hope you just hope that I win the lottery instead. That's true, Rachel. To each your own. That's exactly right. Yeah, that's right. Yep. Human beings have an expectation that they're entitled to the reason for everything. It's a huge flaw. When the old mallard duck gets blown out of the air during hunting season on his way south, that's it. He's not wondering any of that because he's dead. But the human being, boy, he thinks he should be privy to what happens even after he's not around any longer, whether it's giving Dad a hug or seeing all his old pets and just bouncing around the clouds with a bunch of angels slapping high fives. I don't buy it. Hey, Sharon. Yeah, that's why I say I just, I mean, I know LA means well by and a lot of people say this, ravens in peace, but geez, if that's peace, I'll pass. Sharon, where you been lately? That's true, Jenna. And if you look at life in general, what about all the steers that are going to be made into bone-in ribeyes today and filet mignon and all a steer was brought into this world through two steers screwing. And he ran around and ate grass until he got up to about 580 pounds. Didn't do anything wrong, didn't fuck anybody over, didn't steal, didn't bang his buddy's wife. Hamburger bun. What's the difference? Hey, Bertha. I don't believe that, Rachel. I don't know if there is or not. Like I said, I think it's the human beings to think that they should be privy to everything that happens and to why. Nobody really knows. Oh, sorry about that, Sharon. Yeah, they write that ticket up here a lot. Not having a light on your bike. What a fucking joke. Yeah, like, I think it's a good idea to have a light on your bike. Now, why would was it Dearborn or Dearborn Heights? What they're doing is they're looking for somebody with outstanding warrants, and that's a reasonable cause to pull you over. It's a chance to run your name. It really had nothing to do with your safety. No, it's a money-making deal, look, you should have a light on your bike. You really should. Well, I have checked into that. Actually, I'm going to plan on doing that this winter. I got a lot of reading to catch up to do. I'm going to make a whole new office in my upstairs bedroom be much better. Yeah, but this is how they get a chance to run your name. It's a fishing expedition. That's why, if you look, and I haven't checked the statistics on this, the police lost one of the major guns in their arsenal. And that is when they made marijuana legal in Michigan. Because prior to that, smelling marijuana was probable cause to search your car. And now they can't do that. You know how it is, Sharon. When you're broke, your life's unstable, you don't have any money, you've got a heroin addiction. Things like getting a light on your fucking bike is like 505 on a list of 1,000 things that you're going to do. When you're working, you're in a relationship, you've got some things, you're enjoying life, you're going to have a fucking light on your bike because you know you're supposed to. But when you're down in the shitter and things aren't going well and you're trying to get back on your feet, that's how that machine keeps on going and they keep people like you down in the hole, is by bullshit like that. Fucking A right. And I was a slow learner on this stuff. It took me forever to figure this shit out. 30 years ago, I just said, well, if I got to have a light on my bike, why don't you have to have one on yours? Yeah, it's apples and oranges. It's not the same story. It's getting that way, Mamie. That's it, Carla. That's exactly right. Compliance is expensive. Yeah, I wouldn't bank on that though, LA. All it takes is one guy to do that, you know. Look, you should have a light on your bike. I get it. But what I think should be done is if they're, I mean, what's the argument of this cop? Is it Sharon's safety he was looking for? I doubt it. What I think should happen is you get pulled over. But see, that's where they got you, Sharon, this outstanding warrant. So you were fucked either way. Once he had a legal right to pull you over, the light on the bike didn't mean anything. It was just a mechanism to get you on the other shit. Note to self, with an outstanding felony warrant, do not ride bikes, walk. Oh, they'll hand your ass to you on that green laser. They pull out all the stops for that. What the cops should do is they should pull you over and say, hey, you know, it's dangerous to be out here. There's people out here, they're older, they don't see well, it's dark. I really like you to get a light on that bike. I'm going to give you this warning. And if I see you out here again and there's no light on the bike, I've typed it in the system, you're going to get a ticket. That's what I think they should do, if they're concerned about your safety. But like I said, once they ran your name, you were fucked. Yeah, I think notifications are going by the wayside on YouTube. It's just the way it is, Jane. It's you know, somebody sent me a copy of a YouTube thing not long ago where they're going to quit doing notifications. Maybe that's just all part of it. Yeah, I could duct tape, but you know, duct tape's $4 a roll. I got extra bike lights, Sharon. I'll give you one. I got bike lights. You know, when I got in that bullshit a few years ago, I got a 6-month license suspension. Not only did they charge me with a criminal charge, they charged me with a medical charge, which is an automatic 6-month suspension. So I had to ride a bike for 6 months. So I bought 3 bikes actually. I got a recumbent bike. I got that up to 51 miles an hour one time. I've got an off-road bike, and I've got a touring bike. That's it, air cooled. Yep. You know, it's actually pretty cool. This stretch right here, you see right here, I would ride every morning up to Tim Hortons, even in the winter. And to be honest with you, it was kind of fun. Riding a bike doesn't get you in that great a shape like you'd think, especially with 20 speeds. It's 3 miles from here to Tim Hortons. And it was actually kind of cool when we get snow. Only 2 times the snow was too deep to ride my bike. But I know this sounds nuts, but it was actually kind of fun. Nah, I'm not. You know, I don't like. You know, I'm older now, right? I can tell you this: in riding a bike for 6 months, riding bikes, at least at this age, is dangerous. It really is. Other than the recumbent bike, which sits low, you're way the hell up there. And I'm not wearing a damn gay-looking helmet. That's how ignorant I'm capable of being. I don't want that stupid-looking breast cancer pink helmet on my head. I guess I'm too vain. I'd rather risk having a closed head injury. And when you're navigating on the side of the road, even in a rural area like this, going in and out of the side of the road and on the sidewalks and around curbs and bullshit, when you're this age, if you fall off that damn thing in a 10-speed, you're pretty high up. There's a very good chance it could be lights out. And I realized in riding 2 of my 3 bikes that it's dangerous. It really is. You think you're just pedaling and everybody's watching for you. Bullshit. Oh, shit, man. I don't like riding a bike that much, to tell you the truth. I did have fun doing it. but I guess I'm too lazy. I'd rather drink a coffee and just sit on my ass. Yeah, I mean, it's not that fun. It doesn't get you in good shape either. I guess it's better than nothing. But 3 miles, 20 speeds, you're adjusting the pedal pressure all the time. Shit, I never even broke a sweat the whole time I was riding it. Yeah, I don't. I guess I'm just of the era where I'm proud of my ignorance and I'm not wearing the pink breast cancer strap on helmet. I look bad enough already. They do, Patricia. At least the Baptists, you got to give them credit. Like, once saved, always saved. They actually believe in their twisted minds that once they get salvation, nothing can take it away. And I like that. That's why they can go out and get caught with prostitutes and get drunk driving tickets and not get booted out by the church. Where other factions of Christianity, you can lose your salvation by doing shit like that. But I got to give the Baptists that. Once you're open arms and you're accepted to that club, you can just go off the chain, still be going to heaven in their eyes. Yeah, but I think that's brain chemicals, Rachel. All these people that claim they died and came back, they died clinically. It's just like a dream. I mean, I could tell you, if I didn't know it was a dream and it was a car accident and I had the same thoughts, I could say, God, I went back, I thought I was a baby in a crib. It's all brain chemicals, man. It's subjective, right? It's no different than the ground squirrel or the blue jay flying into the plate glass window that thinks he's flying into a big blue cloud. It's lights out. Well, the Catholics, now I got to give them credit too. Purgatory, man. Whoever thought that up, you got to give them credit for that. You can do a bunch of bad shit and get cleaned up before you're up to the pearly whites in heaven. Good idea. Even the Bible talks about that you don't need to go through a man to God. And the Catholics are probably the worst example of that. Confession doesn't make a bit of sense. And in my opinion, which of course doesn't mean anything, neither does baby baptism. I think it's stupid. Yeah, Philip, I would agree with that. Yeah, I mean, it's like TM and Tai Chi and all this bullshit. Getting in touch with yourself and all this zeroing yourself and all this shit. You can call it whatever you want. I mean, there are pretty good studies on positive thoughts create positive feelings, and it's really kind of a gray area. It's not totally scientific like clinical trials, but I would probably agree with thinking positive is better than negative. They probably do, but that's part of survival, Rachel. It's part of survival. Placebos, yeah. If you look at placebos, double-blind studies on legit medication, sometimes the placebo outperforms the real medication. Actually, a couple years ago, Harvard came up with something that even surpassed the double-blind study. They told you that you were getting a placebo before you swallowed it. Wasn't any double-blind study. They told you right up front. And it was surprising the benefits that people got, even knew they were taking a sugar pill, as opposed to legitimate medications. Crazy. I mean, I do think the human mind is capable of a lot of things, even if it's bullshitting yourself 100%. Yeah, not totally. Not totally. Not with everybody. It's not true. All right, Graphic. Have a good day. Yeah, you'd like Bertha, Sharon. No, it's true. It's a distraction. It's actually true. Distractions help. It doesn't really bother me when I'm sitting, believe it or not. It's standing. It's not that bad. I would call it super sore, not painful. No, John, I believe that. Dope sick is really bad. See, that's why people that don't understand heroin addiction, that don't understand dope sick, to them, they think giving somebody 15 bucks for heroin is just like crazy. I was carrying a bunch of luggage up a hotel stairs about a week ago, and like had to walk up 2 stairs and just kind of twisted funny. Yeah. Yeah, I hope it feels better. It's actually, I think I did that a week ago Tuesday. I'm telling you, man, it's bugging the hell out of me. And I could have set it up with like so much sitting driving. That's possible. I am taking it easy, but still, I've tried everything: TENS unit, Tylenol, ibuprofen, heat, shower. It really hasn't got much better. It's only on one side. It's crazy. Right at the base of your spine. All on the left side. No, I never messed with that. I got a buddy of mine's a doctor, and he says stay away from kratom. It's an unregulated supplement that you never know if you're getting a super dose or a crappy dose. I don't know about this pickle juice shit. I mean, it's super sore. I wouldn't call it painful. I will tell you though, sometimes when I'm walking, it'll make you want to drop to your knees. Just one certain movement. I mean, it's that much. I went and bought some lottery tickets last night, and I had that happen. And I grabbed the shelf and knocked down about 500 bottles of energy drinks. Those little energy drinks in those little plastic bottles. And the lady says, "I'll get them." I said, and it's busy, right? And I said, "No, I'll get them. It's no problem." Because she'd have been working there now trying to catch up on customers. That's true, Patricia. Yeah, maybe that deep tissue. I don't even up here to tell you the truth. Oh, no kidding. Yeah, I got gummies. I don't know. Oh, no kidding, Sassy, huh? Yeah, well, I'm not going down there until this gets better, and wasn't going to go down there till next week anyway, so hopefully it'll be better by like Monday. Yeah, believe me, I'm not doing that. I couldn't if I wanted to. I had a hard time taking my garbage bin out. I mean, I walk like I'm like 100 years old. I don't think it's tendon damage. Yeah, that's true. You can actually take 3,000 milligrams of Tylenol safely. Tylenol doesn't seem to work for me. Yeah, that's no good on the dragon's milk and gummies. You're right. Yeah, Exotica shot. That's what I'd like. That'd take my damn mind off it. Yeah, I'm planning on going Monday. Yeah. Yep. No, Tylenol doesn't do a thing for me. Like right now, sitting here, it's not bothering me. It's standing up. Not really. Not sleeping that great. So. Could be better. Not that great though. I toss and turn all night long. I notice when I get up in the night and Daisy's off the end of the bed, I can only assume that's because I'm kicking her and she just says screw it and jumps off the bed and sleeps on the floor. So she's been on the floor a lot when I got up, and I can only assume that's because she's think I can't sleep with this guy rolling around like this. I tried ibuprofen, yeah. Shit, I'd try anything. Ibuprofen. I've taken. There's, actually, they make ibuprofen and Tylenol in one pill now. Did you know that? I even tried some of those. Didn't do shit. Hey, Superwoman, how you doing? Yeah, it's not. It'll get better. I just wish it'd get better sooner. That's what I need. You're right about that, though. Exotic massage. I don't even know where you get one of those anymore. All these places now, they're nailing them for sex trafficking. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but I think it's a bunch of bullshit. You look at Robert Kraft, the New England Patriots owner. That shows you what a waste of law enforcement. They really got a lot of egg on their face over that. A judge ruled that they can't use any of the evidence with regard to the videotape because they taped and recorded too much stuff unrelated to the investigation. So now they're fucked. They can't come in there and show Robert Kraft getting a blowjob. And with that gone, but that shows you kind of prosecutors you deal with sometime. He still isn't willing to reduce the charges. So this thing's kind of in limbo. Jupiter, Florida. It doesn't surprise me. They have nothing else to do down there except make up this bullshit. Dope on every corner, breaking and enterings through the roof. And they're out checking for guys getting blowjobs in massage parlors. You gotta be shitting me. I wish I was sexually active. I'd say yes if you count jacking off. I had a doctor ask me that a couple years ago. He said, "Are you sexually active?" I said, "Does jacking off count?" He said, "No." I said, "Well, then I'm not." Bertha, if you send me your email address, I'll give it to Sharon. Yeah, don't put your emails on here because you'll have those lunatics like that slut in Las Vegas and that tramp in Flint and that lunatic in Prince Edward Island. They'll be emailing you a month from now, and you're trying to figure out how they got your address. Yeah, it's no problem. You'll like Bertha. She's really cool. It's surprising someone that cool would live in Eugene, Oregon. Yeah, there's a lot of weirdos. Can you believe adults just sitting around? No one wants to watch your stupid channel because they're fucking idiots with no content. And all they do is go around causing trouble. You know that one of these lunatics called the post office the other day and tried to get the guy fired for delivering mail to my house while I was gone? Yeah, I'll be down there. I'll be down there Monday or so. Yep, we can do that. Yep. I hate to bring this up, but has anybody been talking to Jessie? Her brother got killed, hit on a bike. God, that is so sad. That Brandy took up a GoFundMe. I sent some money, and I think a couple other people do. Anybody know? I mean, I don't know how you're going to answer this, but anybody know how she's doing? I mean, we're not exactly on the greatest terms, so I think it would seem phony of me to call and say, "Hey, how you doing?" But I'm hoping somebody else has. God, that is so sad. Oh, good, John. Glad you like it. Oh, you didn't know that, Rachel? Yeah, Brett. You know what's crazy about that is I go over to Taos here and there. That's where I take those lake videos. And I saw that on the news, and I never watched the news. I was just channel surfing, and I saw, God, 16-year-old get killed on a bike, man. How in the hell did that happen? Because the speeds are low. I mean, you can get killed anywhere under any circumstance. And then I found out it was her brother, and it's like, oh my God, it's just like such a sick feeling. I'll tell you why. Look, death is equal to all families. Jessie had a terrible childhood upbringing. I think her mother's a lunatic. I hope they work things out. I don't know how you can with that terrible parenting. She struggled with prostitution, drug addiction, got the hell away from there, is hanging in there, doing okay, has a child. Struggle. And this kid seemed like a super nice kid from the same mother. I don't know who the daddy was or what the circumstances were. Just like an all-American good kid. How can this happen to people like that? It's just like such a sick feeling. Yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah, I don't either. I don't watch it either, but my God, man, I mean, you see people like, I think the saddest thing is she kept saying she didn't know how they were going to live without him. God damn, man. And it just, I don't know the circumstances, but some guy that owned an insurance agency, and it was just, if you guys watch the videos that I upload when I go over to Lake Huron, that's where it happened, right where I turn down there near the Big Boy, where I make that turn and go along those nice houses to drive back to the park. And it just seems like such an unlikely place for something like that to occur. Yeah, it's super sad. God. Especially when you're struggling anyway. I mean, she did get away from Detroit, but I mean, honest to God, I mean, there's no jobs up there worth a shit that pay anything. It's fucking boring. You're living with your grandparents. I mean, she's trying to like do better, but and then something like that happens on top of it. It's not like you have it made and then tragedy occurs. You're already struggling and on the edge of relapsing and thinking of heading back to Detroit, and then some bullshit like that crops up. God. Just doesn't make any sense. And killed. I can understand like a collision, but the speeds are low there, but you don't need to be going that fast if your head cracks the side of something just right. Just perfect timing. I mean, you got one motherfucker winning the Mega Millions and then someone else losing her brother. It's just no answers to these things. How life turns out for people. I'm in West Branch, Michigan. Yep. Fucking sucks, man. I mean, how do you ever like what can you say on something like that? Just sad. Yeah, so sad, man. God damn it. No, that's a good idea, Stardust. I should go get some of those. Yeah, I should get some of those. Yeah, it is. Yeah, because there's no way around it. You're just thinking, God. Yeah. Well, I do know that Brandy had one because, I was getting ready to take off for that vacation and she started one and I just sent her $100 and I never really followed it, to tell you the truth. I think it's already done, but I'm not sure. If you look, I posted a video about it and she posted a link. If you scroll back like, maybe 3 weeks ago. Yeah. Now, do you need is that lidocaine? Now, I know that's in some of those analgesic things. Is there like prescription strength and patent medicine strength you can just buy off the shelf, or do I need to get a prescription? Yeah, sorry about that. I know I put something about it. You may be able to. I think he had a different last name, but I'm sure there's something on her channel. I mean, look, they struggle anyway, so I mean, nothing's going to replace that. I get this, right? But, you know, at least when people send money, it gives a little relief that you're not going to be needing to work your typical 16 hours a week overtime while you're grieving. So money is the best thing that I can think of. I mean, you got to pay your bills. Your credit card companies don't tell you to quit sending your payment because a family member was killed. Life goes on, and even though that seems terrible to look at it that way, money, I can't think of anything better than money. I would say skip the prayers and send money. Yeah, I got to start doing something about that. I bought this book actually where it's where you evaluate yourself. Actually, it does it as part of this book. And what it says is understand what your strengths are and appreciate your weaknesses. And the gist of it is what you've got a knack for, go with that and try and hone that and perfect it. Because you already got a head start. And then the stuff that you're no good at, that you put off, delegate it, pay for it to have it done. And that makes one hell of a lot of sense to me. You know, and I'm going to do this. It's one of my things is to get this and identify my weaknesses. I got to deal what they are, but I may be wrong. It's hard to judge yourself. I'll let a computer do it in New York. And I'm going to go with it. And when I don't get an email answered or a phone call returned, I get pissed. So I'm sure that's happening to people. And if they knew that I was getting more than I could reply to, they wouldn't be pissed, but they don't know that. People like to be acknowledged. That's why I do read every comment on the videos that are left. Give that little heart thing or something. But I just can't do it on the emails. Hey Stephanie, how you doing? Yeah, Jesse Dunn. Yeah, Jesse Dunn. Yeah. Oh, really, Stardust? Is that a different grade then on the lidocaine? I mean, I think it would be in order. I mean, I'd be glad to help in any way I could now that I'm back. And if anybody's got any ideas on maybe starting another GoFundMe or something to help them out, I'm all for it. If you guys want to do it, or I think it would definitely be something that should be done. Oh, thank you, Stardust. Yeah, I'll get that. Yeah, I mean, I'd donate to it again, no problem. Yeah, I think mine was. I think I'll tell you what I think set it up is. I'd drive all day, which didn't have a problem with, and then I'd switch, download my videos to my laptop, and then I'd answer my questions on my YouTube channel. So I think it was the chairs in the hotels I was staying in. I felt a little bit of like on the left side, and then that carrying that luggage just topped it off. I mean, it's really not that big a deal. It's more of an inconvenience. It's not like I got brain cancer or something. I mean, I should be getting over this any day. I mean, I wish I didn't have it, but when you consider, other things out there, it's nothing. The book is Discovering Your Hidden Strength. I'll give you the exact title of it. In order to get the evaluation, you got to pay the full tilt on the updated version, which is like $34. You can get them all day long for $5 on eBay used, but you don't get that analysis. I know a Jewish guy. I know I bring up Jews a lot. I think I do it because my observation in my lifetime is their success ratios. And it's just what I've observed. I think Jews in general are smart. And I've got a buddy of mine that's a Jew that's probably the smartest guy I've ever met. Actually, he's writing a book now, and I'm the main character in it, if you can believe it. And he told me about it, and he took it, and that's why I did it. Yes, yep. Yeah, I could. I've done those playlists. It's funny. I'll do them, and then, I got people just seem to have a hard time finding them. This guy I know, he's good friends with Andrew Gross. He's a successful author. They went to kindergarten and grade school and high school together. And Andrew Gross said that he's a better writer than he is, and this is his first book. I mean, this guy's like off the charts intelligent. He's aced the ACT, the SAT, the LSAT. Just a smart Jew. I don't know how else to put it. He tells me there's no genetic advantage. I don't believe it. He said it's all cultural. I don't believe that either. I mean, when you have like thousands of years of smart people marrying each other and producing offspring, you can't tell me that doesn't make a difference, albeit subtle. Yeah, me too. Yeah, the people that don't test well are usually stupid. You can always tell some dumb son of a bitch when he says he gets nervous taking a test. He's fucking ain't right, he's nervous. He knows he's not going to do very well. Yeah, dumb people act like IQ tests are rigged. It's like I get so much anxiety when I'm taking a test. Yeah, it's because you're fucking stupid. Smart people test well. Can't put it to you any other way. Yeah, they're self-taught, but you still got to have the genes to make it fly. Yeah, but Rhodes Scholars are linked to athleticism as well. Yeah, Virginia. Thank you, Gary. Rachel, please at least spell it correctly next time, will you? No, I don't like baseball. First game I went to was in high school, 13 fucking innings. I thought it'd never end. And I had to get up and go to school the next day. I remember Ron Guidry pitched. And I didn't know too much about baseball at the time. And I remember watching him pitch. And I couldn't believe that anybody could even hit a ball getting thrown that fast, that accurately. A book. I already made the movie. It's a porno movie. I can't show it to you. No, I agree with it. And that's why I say whenever I get in trouble, I need to get a good Jew lawyer. Oh, shit. Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that, Mocha. I never really bought into the conversion deal. Excuse me. No, I didn't check it yet. I will check it, though. I get it, Patricia. Sam Bernstein. Yeah, smart Jew. That's exactly right. You better believe it. Not only is he smart, all his kids are smart. You know, that one kid of his is the one kid, the blind one, is on the Michigan Supreme Court. And then the other kid is a regent at the University of Michigan. He kind of surprised me for a liberal Jew. You know, he was going to donate $3 million. And as it turned out, he wanted his name to take the place of some famous African American. And U of M told him to get fucked. So he took the $3 million off the table. And he's still a regent there, which I find a little bit interesting. I'm sure it's a little contentious there with him. But, you know, so much for strings attached to donations. Yeah, I think I'd have to go if, like, you know, if any of this bullshit worked and you could be reborn and start over, I think I'd go with being a Jew, too. Oh, thank you, Mark. I will. You know, you're not supposed to say things like that anymore. My dad used to say getting Jewed all the time. Man, you say that now someplace in like a public setting or where you work and it's game over. Goldberg. Oh, shit. Well, there were German Jews as well. You know that. Polish Jews. You know, B&H Cameras, Hasidic Jews in New York, they take Saturday off. I know I keep saying this over and over, but I'm not going to apologize for it. My experience in my life is there's a disproportionate amount of super intelligent, successful Jews. Now, here's another argument, too. Is it a race or a religion? Which one? Or is it both? But B&H, you'll never talk to a smarter person in the world about cameras than when you call that place. They may pound it in your ass for extra shipping, but I'm accepting it. Yeah, big time. Well, you know, I read this one time in two Jewish kids, and the Jewish kid went over to a Catholic kid's house. And when the Jewish kid went in the Catholic kid's bedroom, he saw Atari and Matchbox cars and Xbox and all this fucking bullshit. And the Jew asked the Catholic, "Where are all your books?" So the Catholic said, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And he said, "Well, come on over to my house." And they went over to the Jew's house, and this young kid's room was just lined with encyclopedias and dictionaries and thesauruses and novels and fiction and science. And then he took him over to two more Jewish kids' bedrooms, and their bedrooms were the same way. That's the point. It's cultural. You don't see any Jews running around their mother saying, you better get on that fucking honor roll next time, or I'm going to take away your PlayStation. It's all spelled out, man. You don't need to be threatening that way. You're happy to oblige your parents. They don't need to be on your ass like the one with the big old King James version of the Bible sitting on the family stool. Nah, I'm not going down there because the signal's getting worse. It was never any good, but it's worse. I mean, it's no fun having a chat. Goddamn circles spinning around 50% of the time. Yeah, I'll give it to her, Bertha. Oh yeah, total shit. You should have known better. Total garbage. I don't know how they stay in business. Why didn't you go up to, were you down someplace else? You must have been out of town. Daisy's a good girl. You're right, yeah, that's true. Now, the Catholics aren't, in general, aren't big Bible readers. Yeah, she does. I usually get her the hamburger, and I don't give her the bun. You sleeping, honey? You sleeping, hon? Yeah, they are starting to turn color. Yep, they sure are. Yep. Yeah, it's just sitting there looking at that sign that everything is outsourced, the manufacturing shit, the middle class is disappearing. So all these people that were prosecuting people for years, that drugs were bad and that marijuana was bad and it's a gateway drug and all this fucking bullshit, they finally realized we need to shit or whether it isn't. They've already done the same thing with alcohol, which everybody knows is overall not good for you, and cigarettes, which is a no-brainer. They did it with gambling. Then they went on to the lottery. And I'm waiting for the sex industry. I hope that I'm still alive when that thing gets going, because I want to see a good local horror house in every small town in America. It's a good town. No, yeah, it is. It's true. Gonna pay for it one way or the other anyway. See you, Philip. Yeah, it's not. They didn't get much rain. If you listen to that interview I did with Charlie out in North Dakota, he had a couple years as a farmer where they didn't make a damn dime because of no rain. Yeah, I'm all up for helping Jesse any kind of way. Yeah, they are, Diana. Yep. I haven't used my metal detector this year. I gotta get going on that. When I use my metal detector, I'm not interested. If you told me, hey, I lost my grandmother's engagement ring when I was swimming over in Taos, I would be happy to go over there and find it for you and give it back to you. But that shit doesn't interest me. I'm not interested in finding shit that people lost and keeping it and selling it. It doesn't interest me at all. So what I do with my metal detector, I go out in the middle of nowhere. I'll give you an example. Up on Clear Lake here, where those trails are, right? A lake from Clear Lake Road. I go down those trails and I use my metal detector, and It's not going off for every damn tab off a can of Coke, rusty bottle cap, whatever. So when it's going off, there's some metal down there. And I've found a lot of pennies from the 40s and 50s. It's kind of cool. And I've also looked at the old abstract plat maps to where the homesteads were before towns like this were redeveloped, and I've searched around there. I don't really find too much, but that's what I got it for. See you, Superwoman. Yeah, you know, there are different kinds of metal detectors for different things. Chances of finding gold around here are pretty low. Now, if I was out west, I'd probably have one. White's makes a good gold detector, but when you're just looking for coins and stuff like that, or, you know, knives or bullets or old guns, I got a Garrett, which is kind of the jack of all trades, not a specialty metal detector, which I've had fun with. I'm a lazy son of a bitch too when it comes to metal detecting. If that thing shows me that thing's deeper than 6 inches, forget it. The next guy can dig it up. I'm not. You'll wear your damn ass out in an hour digging up bullshit. If it shows 26 inches deep, you can forget it. I don't care if a damn half a pound of gold's down there. Yeah, I don't. So so some of you people have talked to her. I mean, it's a stupid question to ask how she's doing, but I'll ask it anyway. How is she doing? Oh, really? It does. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Yep. You know, Faye, I don't know what I paid for that damn thing. You know, I've had it a couple years. I've probably used it 40 hours. I got a pretty good Garrett. You can buy them used. I'll have to tell you, it's like the latest Garrett metal. I want to say 500 or something. Maybe it was more than that. I got the big secret. I don't know that much about it. To metal detecting is that little like dildo looking thing you got. It looks like a dildo. It's got a light on the end of it, but it's really like a mini metal detector, and that'll keep you from digging your ass off. So the way you work it is you move this thing around, you wait for it to go off, and then you get down there on your hands and knees with this little thing, pointer, and that's what really zones you in on it. When that baby's going off full tilt, you know you're going to be digging up something that's metal. It really narrows down the scope of the area that you need to dig. And another thing I've learned, and like I said, I don't know shit. You know, they'll show you in these manuals and these metal detecting thing. You take this little like mini gardening shovel, you know, that thing that you plant tulips with, and you'll be there forever. I take a full-blown metal shovel with a good oak handle, and I dig the shit out of that in about 5 seconds. I'm not fucking around with some little handheld shovel, and that has made all the difference in the world. Yeah, that's the way to do it. And I also got a knife that I got from ordering the kit. It's got serrated edge where you can like move the dirt away and like say, is this a nail or is this like this big kick-ass gold coin? Yeah, Julie, I've got a Questar 7 telescope, which is really good. I can tell you this right off the bat. Most telescopes are absolute junk. You get what you pay for on a telescope. I've got the Questar 7 to use. And depending on what the application is, send it to me. But here's the deal. Unless you're rich, an affordable telescope isn't really going to get you what you're thinking. Now with the Hubble and everything on the internet, my opinion, it doesn't really make much sense to stick a lot of money into a telescope. There are going to be times when you can see Jupiter and Mars. It's that little pin dot in the viewing area. I use mine mostly to really photograph and look at the moon. And I've got a solar shield where I can watch the sunrise and sunset. and at certain times of the year you can see solar flares. But other than that, it's really pretty limited. I mean, you need crazy telescopes to see good shit that isn't already available online. And you need to be in a place where there's not much light pollution. So be careful before you buy it, because I know how they pitch people on telescopes. They show the whole family sitting on the roof, watching Mars like it's 100 feet away. It's total horseshit. The whole deal on a quality telescope is its light gathering ability. Yeah, but go ahead, send that to me. Yep. But I found in having, like the one I have, you also need a clock timer to keep up with the rotation of the Earth. You'll learn when you get into doing telescope stuff, you realize how fast the planet's spinning around and how fast the moon gets out of the field of view. When you're just looking at things there's a big difference between photography and using telescopes, between what your eyes see and your brain interpret, and trying to take a mechanical device and convert that into an image. It's like night and day. It's hard to duplicate. Oh, I got you some. Come on over. I'll give you some. I got a bunch of them. But my point here is something that's affordable. You're really very limited on what you can see. You're looking at stars and, the winter is the best viewing time in this part of the Earth. Like when you're up inside the Arctic Circle, like let's say Barrow, Alaska as an example, you see the Milky Way from a different perspective. You're looking at it differently than from the side as you would this latitude, particularly in the summer months. All this matters. Hey, Lost Souls. Yeah, probably right, Rachel. Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I don't know what I paid for mine. I bought it used. I think it was $4,000 or something like that 15 years ago. I mean, and I quickly realized I've got all the bells and whistles and extra shit and eyepieces. But you really get an idea on how fast this shit's spinning around. It makes sense to you. Night and day and the curvature of the Earth. Like a dumbass, when I was in college, I took an astronomy class as an elective. I thought I'd have fun. I barely passed that goddamn thing. Man, when you get into all these questions about, daylight on Pluto 500 years from now at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's like, holy shit. I thought this was just going to be about circumference and temperatures and distances. I got to figure out all this bullshit. I got a lot of interest. I don't think I'm that smart, really. Honestly, I think I got ADHD, but in a way it's benefited me. I don't know too much about one thing, but I know a little about a lot of things. But it's fun. You get out there. I mean, here's the reality of it all. An external monitor really helps things. When you're bent over and your back's sore and the damn things, you zoom in on the moon and that thing is moving like a son of a bitch. It really is hauling ass. It's surprising how much you notice this when you start fooling around with telescopes. You get out there, it's nighttime, the mosquitoes are eating your ass alive. You're finally finding this goddamn thing out in the middle of nowhere, and you're zooming in, and you call your neighbor, hey, look at this. What do you think of this? I show my neighbor kids sometimes, and their response is always, wow. I never believed this could be so vivid and clear. That's because you've never seen it that close. And then you show your neighbors and you show your girlfriends. And, you put it away and you don't look through it for 2 years. It's a lot of setup and stuff for a limited view. Yeah, I mean, you can download all this. Like, I think Google's got like space stuff now. And you look at these books and stuff. I mean, you got to have some crazy equipment to see the good shit. You don't really need great equipment. Now, if you want to start astrophotography, actually, I'm going to do some of that this November. I've got the lenses that I can use for that with my Nikon D850. But, it's going to be cool. It's going to be fun to fool around with. It's another animal, astrophotography, but it'll be fun to just fool around with. But there's just so many avenues to getting better images on stuff that you don't need to buy. Oh, that's cool, LA. That's kind of neat. Yeah, I mean, in 1960, if you had a telescope, now you got something because there was no way you were going to see this shit. You know, you're going to see some rocket ships blasting off somewhere. That was it. But now, in this day and age, 2020, you can see so much better stuff. It'd be like buying a car instead of building one from a kit. I'm not trying to discourage you from buying one for your son. I'm just telling you it's overkill and it's very limited. Yeah, they found out that Stephen Hawking was full of shit on black holes too. Yeah. I mean, to me, I get the biggest kick out of looking at the sun and the moon, to tell you the truth, and that's because it's just so breathtaking when you have something, you know, decent to look at it. It's like, wow. Yeah, yep. Black holes. Here we got people starving and they're worried about black holes out in the middle of nowhere. That's also why I've changed my opinion on these Ivy League schools, these universities, these think tanks. They supposedly got all the ideas on what we're supposed to do. And like you take a place like Harvard or Yale, with all these endowments, and they're going to study the poor and poverty. They haven't done a fucking thing. They'll send a couple all-A Jews out somewhere to hand out box lunches and think they're saving the world. I want to see some real legitimate change because of these places being around. I think it's a bunch of bullshit. Oh, really, Julie? Yeah, I mean, you know, just play it out. I don't even know what they get for a Quest R7 now. I don't know what they sell for if they're making new ones. I bet their sales have dropped off. Look at that Confederate flag, motherfucking weirdo. God damn it. It's making this town look bad. No, I didn't know that. No. I don't care. Yeah, I got to believe that their sales have diminished now with all the stuff available for free. Two chosen ones? I don't give a fuck. People think I'm interested in these chosen one things. I don't give two shits, to be honest with you. People think they're helping me out by telling me what one of these losers is saying. I could care less. Yeah, that's true, yep. I get that. No way. If you're not at least dropping $1,000 on something, it's a waste of money. I promise you. Swear to God. All these things you see, at like Toys R Us, at Walmart, or these space stores on the internet, total junk. Yeah, they could be. I don't give two shits about them. Oh yeah, she did have my permission. Yeah, she is. She's a lady that was a heroin addict. I think she's been on methadone 9 years, doing well, has a family, husband, trying to do the right thing. I don't give a fuck. I mean, if I've got every scumbag in the world using my name to fuck with me, why wouldn't I allow someone with good intentions that's done well herself? I mean, it's fine with me. I mean, these shitbags wouldn't have any views if they didn't copy my name and tell lies. So if someone's trying to do the right thing, it's no problem. Besides, she doesn't need my permission. Look at this fucking dirtbag in Flint. She'd be the last person I'd give permission to use anything associated with me. Goddamn 50-year-old child. Yeah, you do get what you pay for. Don't do it, Julie. Don't buy one. If he's 10, I mean, he probably isn't going to realize the difference between a good one and a bad one. I would get, honestly, if I were you, I would look for some. I'll look for one if you want. Get a good used one on eBay. You'll get much more bang for your buck. But you do not want get one of these telescopes from these hobby shops. Total junk. Yeah, she's a total shitbag. Don't worry about her, Melodic. She's a big fat pig that lives with her mother that is still a dependent at 50 years old. The truth of it is, I don't need to give permission. I mean, you can use anybody. That's the downside of YouTube. They don't do anything about that. If she quit using my name in her tags, she'd have no views because she's a moron. Oh, really, Patricia? Huh? Yeah, we got a few Jehovah's Witnesses up here. I had to chew their ass a couple of years ago. They caught me in a bad mood. I said, I've told you guys 2 times, man, do not come over here. I don't care if you're selling dildos, Bibles, whatever. I don't want to hear this bullshit. How about if I showed up to their house and wanted to talk to them about the virtues or pornography? I mean, they think because they believe in it that it's valid, it's the real thing. It's insulting. I tell them, get the fuck out of here. I didn't. I looked around the bushes. You sure you put it in the right door? Yeah, it's insulting. Yeah, they're going to let me know about Jesus like I'm just some fucking moron that hasn't had time to decipher what I believe is true myself, and that therefore, because they're here, it's valid and I need to listen to it. Yeah, I'll go bang on their door. It's like, hey, look at this selection of dildos I have. Fucking bullshit. No, I didn't find it. It could be still in some stuff, but I looked through all the envelopes. Hi, Dan. No, it's just, yeah, that you're just, they believe that is real and they're going to tell your ignorant ass that you should believe in it too. I think it's insulting. Go banging on people's doors. But that's part of their shtick. Oh, no, that's all right, man. I'll get you one. No, you know what I mean, though? I mean, that shows you the extent of the ego of these people. How bold they can. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. You hear me? I don't know what caused that. I don't know what caused that. I thought it was overheating, but usually when it does that, I can't hit resume and it comes back on, so. Looks like it's getting hot out today. Oh, good. I don't know what caused that. Shit, well, that blew my. I've been talking all day. My accomplishments today are putting some Penetrax on my back, getting a coffee, and talking on the internet for 2.5 hours. Yeah, it is humid. It's kind of humid here today. Yeah, yep. You know, I didn't tell you guys the other day. I went down and got that steak. I bought some beef jerky, which I really don't eat as much as I've gotten older. I don't like it as much. And you know, Daisy, when I give her something, she likes to tear the bag open and like lick the wrappers, like when I get her a McDonald's hamburger. So I let her do that. So I've created a monster. But anyway, I went in Walmart to get something. I came out and Daisy ate my half pound of jerky, ate the whole bag of it. Yeah, she ate every damn piece of jerky, but the one I ate as I was driving. She ate it all, whole half pound. Nope. Like 9.50 worth of jerky. You know, actually, that place, I had the best smoked salmon down there the other day. So damn good. I might go down there right now and get another piece of it. It wasn't overly smoked, and it was a fillet. It didn't have bones in it. No, she liked it. Yeah. But like I said, I created that monster. I let her tear open the bags. Yeah, that's how I am. I just don't eat it as much as I used to. But that fish was really good down there. I think I might go down there and get some more. It was just like lightly smoked. I mean, I don't like eating a piece of fish where you bite into it, feels like you're eating a piece of wood. It's so smoky. Well, you like smoked fish? Yeah, I didn't give a shit. Yeah, that's true, Rachel. Yep. No, actually, you know, when I go see Mary up there in Traverse City, you know, her friends run that Treaty Smoked Fish Company, mainly smoked lake trout. But what's nice about it is you can get a fillet, not that old chunk, real dark, smoky crap that they sell most places with the bones in it. Just a big old kick-ass fillet of smoked fish, fresh. Yeah, good cheese. Yeah, I got some good cheese the other day. My best cheese is the 10-year aged cheddar. Anything past 10 year, I really don't know that much of a difference. And honestly, the 15 isn't better to me. 6 years old. Yeah, six. Yep. Oh yeah, she likes it. Yeah, I think 10 years is the best. Yeah, really good. Yep. But the 15, I had a buddy of mine that bought the 20. It was like, I don't know, some crazy dollar amount. He didn't like it as much either. Actually, at that fruit market over there, they have 200-day plus old, which is pretty good. 9.99 a pound. That's not bad. Yeah, when the weather gets colder, I'll send you some cheese when it gets colder. We have a Pinconning, Michigan, which is right down the road, is kind of known for cheese here. Oh, you got a migraine? Yeah, I'm not doing much today. Oh, yeah, I believe it, Amina. They have them in Clear Lake. They're probably, yeah, they do have some down on Lake George, actually. Yeah, they do. It's a good town. I think you'd like it up here. Oh, good tilapia. That's cool. Aged. Aged, yep. No, actually, that fruit market got busier, believe it or not. They actually shut down a couple days of the week and lowered their hours and been making more money than ever. You know, some businesses flourished, like this coffee place across the street. No, I never tried that. I only went with the peanuts, boiled peanuts in Florida. Oh, really, Rachel? Oh, you didn't? See you, Faye. Nice new avatar there. You know, they're good. I get the Cajun ones. You kind of got to get used to them. It's weird, but I like getting them. They have good canned aged boiled peanuts in Walmart. They got the spicy ones and the regular ones. They're only like $1.60 a can. Yeah, it tastes like chicken. Isn't that the truth, gamers? Oh, thank you, Lana. Well, I think I'm going to sign off here, you guys. I'm going to get something to eat, and it's getting a little hot out here, so I'm going to upload some more videos today. Good day today. Yeah, make some. I don't know how to explain it, man, because I didn't like them when I first tried them, and then I just still would get them once in a while, and then I got out of Florida and I kind of missed them. Yeah, it's good. It's just different everything, you know. Go to Walmart and get a can. Yeah, they're boiled. Boiled. They're boiled, Diane. Yeah, it does make them softer. Yep. All right, you guys have a good day today. Good talking to you. Can't believe we've been on this long. My phone is so hot I can barely touch it. Yeah, I will, Philip. I'll do that. Yep. All right, Bertha. See you, Lana. I will. I'll do it. Yep. Go down and get another piece of that fish. See you, Bertha. All right, LA. Yep. See you, Rachel.